Hi, friends. It's our very last chapter of Junie B. Jones, May's Big Surprise. Remember, in our last chapter, Junie B had just stuck coal in her secret Santa bag. Let's see what happens. Room 1 went to lunch. I didn't eat my sandwich. Also, I didn't eat my carrot sticks, 'cause how could I even swallow that stuff if my stomach felt so sickish? I kept thinking and thinking about what I did. Only it didn't even matter anymore, 'cause now it was too late. After we got back from lunch, Mr. Scary put on a Santa hat and he passed out cake and cookies and punch. Also, he gave everyone a candy cane. After that, we went back to our gift sacks and he folded the tops shut. Okay, everyone, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Ready to deliver the Secret Santa gift? He said. Ready, hollered Room 1. Mr. Scary smiled. When I give you your gift sack, please keep it on your desk, he said. Then when everyone has their sacks, we'll open them all together. May jumped up and clapped. That is a deal, mister, she said real silly. Then she sat back down and she sang Frosty some more. And all of Room 1 started singing with her. Except not me, because I still didn't feel very cheery about what I did, and there was nothing I could even do about it. Pretty soon, Mr. Scary handed May her sack. She stood up and skipped all around her desk. She was still belting Frosty. I drummed my fingers on the desk. Okay, now, her joy is actually getting on my nerves, I said to myself. Finally, Mr. Scary gave me my gift sack, too. Thank you, I said. Only I didn't actually feel that happy, 'cause May's gift kept staying on my mind. As soon as all the sacks were passed out, Mr. Scary walked to the front of the room and he beamed real big. Okay, everyone, when I count to 3, we're ready to open our gifts. Ready? He said. We shouted back, ready! Mr. Scary started to count. 1, 2, 3! Whoosh! All of the children pulled out their gifts at once. Except not me again. And not May. Instead, she just stared in her sack and she sat there real frozen. Her face had shock on it. Lenny leaned over to see what she got, but May didn't move. What'd you get, May? He said. What's wrong, huh? What's wrong? May didn't answer. Then Jose turned around too, and so did Herb and Sheldon and Shirley. What's wrong with May? They asked. Is something wrong with May? May kept staying frozen. Finally, Mr. Scary came back to her desk and he bent down to next to her. May, is there a problem? He asked real quiet. May did a big swallow. Her eyes had a little bit of tears in them, I think. Then very slowly she handed him the gift sack and he looked inside. His mouth dropped open. Oh, he said. Oh, my. He gave it back. May looked up at him. I can't believe anybody would do this, she said real soft. Do what, May? Asked Sheldon. May breathed in real deep. Then she reached in her bag and she pulled out her gift. Everyone gasped real loud. And they could not believe their eyeballs, I tell you. They waited until they got their breath back, and everyone started shouting all at once. The squeeze-a-burp! The squeeze-a-burp! Someone got May the squeeze-a-burp! That thing cost a fortune, called Shirley. Squeeze it, yelled Sheldon. Yes, squeeze it, yelled the children. May started to grin. Then she stood up kind of slow, and she gave that thing a squeeze. Ha! It burped beautifully. Room 1 laughed their heads off. Do it again! Do it again! Do it again! They shouted. And so May burped again, and Room 1 laughed again, and they kept going on and on like that. Finally, May sat down for a second, and she fanned herself with her hand. I think I'm being popular, she said, very stunned. Then she quick stood up again and she skipped around the room, and she kept on squeezing her burp. It felt happy to watch her. Sort of. Also, it felt hard, 'cause I really, really wanted that toy, and that's why I wanted it real bad. Only it didn't even belong to me now, and it never, ever would. My bag was still sitting on my desk. I put it on my lap and looked inside. Crayons! I said, very surprised. My secret Santa brought me brand new crayons. Who even knew that I needed these things? All of room 1 turned around at once. Everyone, they said. I opened the box and breathed in the new crayon smell. Then I lined them up on my desk and I smiled real happy, 'cause the greenie was not even a stubby. And my red's head was perfectly pointy. I smiled even bigger. Then I drank some punch and I ate a cookie. My stomach felt better now. Pretty soon, May skipped back to her desk and she fanned herself again. Whew, being popular really gets you tired, she said. Right, Junie Jones? Right? I looked back and nodded. Right, I said, sort of quiet. After that, May sat down, and both of us ate our cake and we licked our candy canes. It was very peaceful for us. We were having goodwill, I think. After we finished, she wiped off her mouth with her napkin. Well, I better get back to my skipping now. I have lots more burping to do. She jumped out of her chair, but instead of skipping away, she just stood there with the squeeze-a-burp and she smiled at me. Then all of a sudden, she reached across the aisle and she put it on my desk. Want to try it, Junie Jones? She said. Want to do a burp? I raised my eyebrows, very shocked. Really, May? No kidding? You would really, really let me do that? Then, before she could change her mind, I quick picked it up and I squeezed that thing as loud as I could. And wowie, wow, wow! It was the biggest burp of the day! May clapped and clapped. Ha! That was a good one, Junie B, she said. You did good. The words floated inside my head. I smiled. I did good. After that, May picked up her toy and she started to skip away. Then, whoa, hold the phone. It hit me like a brick. I jumped up and I grabbed May's arm. Wait a second, May. Did you just say my bee? I asked. 'Cause I really, really thought that you said my bee just now. I'm almost positive you did. In fact, May tapped her chin. Really? She said. I said the bee. That's funny. Then she did a little smile and she skipped away. I sat there a second. Then my whole face got happy. 'Cause I don't even know why. That's why. 'Cause I still really wanted that squeeze-a-burp. I tell you. And so how come I felt so good inside? Maybe when I got home from school, Philip Johnny Bob would help me figure it out. But for right now, there was only one thing I was really, really hoping for. I picked up my new black crayon and I opened my journal. Dear Santa, I really hope that you were watching me just now. That's all I hope. Love, Junie B, Giver. P.S. You don't happen to have an extra squeeze-a-burp up there, do you? Peace and goodwill, Junie B. This book was so fun to read. If you want to check it out at your library, you can do that too. Bye, guys.